Recorded Books and One Click Digital present New Leaf, a Mystic Creek novel by Katherine Anderson, narrated by Kate Turnball. Chapter 1. April 2015. The headlights of the county-owned crew cab truck cut through drifting snowflakes to bathe quaint storefronts in flashes of gold as Barney Sterling circled the town center of Mystic Creek and then turned right onto East Main. Paul Coots, better known as Pop, the proprietor of antiquarian books and the Mystic Creek Menagerie, had just called in a complaint about loud music keeping him and his new roommate, Ray Burke, awake. It wasn't yet 9, but Barney guessed that people on the high side of 80 went to bed early. Reaching across the console, he crumpled the top of a white paper bag that held what remained of his night shift meal, fresh from the ovens at the Jake and Bake. He'd ordered 3 Italian panzerotti small closed pizzas, filled with tomato, mozzarella, and sausage. Now a dusting of confectioner's sugar clung to his fingers from the warm cream horns he'd been about to devour for dessert. The interior of the cab smelled of vanilla filling, yeast bread, peppers, and cheese, with a touch of his Polo cologne underscoring the lot. A woman's voice came over the radio. "You gotten there yet, Barney?" Doreen, a plump redhead and newly hired dispatcher, hadn't memorized any police codes yet. Nearly everyone at the sheriff's department was willing to bet that she'd still be yakking over the airwaves in plain English come next Christmas. It had become a sore point with most of the officers. Doreen used the names of individuals in town, gave details about complaints over the air, and pretty much broke all the FCC regulations in every other way as well. Barney knew that the sheriff had been in a pinch for a new dispatcher when he hired Doreen, and the man had probably anticipated that she'd apply herself to learning how to do her job, but so far she just wasn't getting it. In such a small town, certain informalities over the radio did occur, but Doreen carried informality to a whole new level. Anyone out there with a police scanner could listen and learn particulars about other townspeople that they had no business knowing. "You'd better get your only bullet out of your pocket and load your weapon, deputy," she said with a laugh. "This might get sticky. Coots just called again, madder than a wet hen. He says that Taffeta Brown's music is turned up so loud that it's vibrating his walls clear across the street, and Ray is about to go ballistic." Barney didn't care for Doreen, partly because she didn't know much of anything about being a dispatcher, and also because she kept a wad of bubblegum wedged between her teeth and cheek. But the biggest thing about her that ticked him off was that she wouldn't stop razzing him with Deputy Barney Fife jokes. He'd heard enough of those by the time he was on the force for only a week. What was her deal? Barney disliked his first name, but it was the handle his mother, Kate, had given him, and he didn't want to hurt her feelings by changing it. Besides, it wasn't his mom's fault that he had gone into law enforcement and become a deputy. If he'd had any sense, he would have been Barnabas the dentist or Barney the builder, anything but a deputy. Deciding to let Doreen's wisecracks pass, Barney asked, "Is the complainant certain it's the accused music?" "The what and the what?" Barney bit down hard on his molars. "The complainant, the individual who called in the complaint. The person being complained about is the accused." He keyed his mic again to add, "It's difficult for me to believe that loud music is coming from the indicated location." Barney had good reason to wonder if the information was accurate. Paul Coots was deaf as a post, and Ms. Brown had never struck Barney as being the loud or rowdy type. In fact, he reflected the woman hadn't made much of an impression at all. Ms. Brown had opened a health store on East Main nearly a year ago, and on the few occasions that Barney had gone in there, she'd defined the word mousy, both in demeanor and appearance. Not that Barney visited her shop often enough to have a clear memory of what she looked like. A vague image of drab clothing, dark hair, blue eyes,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?